What about my love? Wasn't it enough? Just let me know.
My offensive sleeper is going to be also a wide receiver, but it's going to be Will Sheppard. In a receiver room that
You guys hate Colorado. You haters. Oh wait, there's some more.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. But in a receiver room that consisted of obviously Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr., LeJontay Western. It was kind of one of the quieter guys, and he had a better season than Jimmy Horn Jr. did as well. But kind of a quieter guy, being in Will Sheppard constantly. The past 3 years, he's had at least over 600 receiving yards. In 2022, before Deion was even there, he had 60 receptions for 776 yards, 9 touchdowns. That was his best season. And ever since then, he's just kind of stayed in that 600 range.
Yeah.
And again, when you have a receiving room consisting of all of those guys that I just mentioned, obviously you're not going to get thrown the ball around a lot, especially when, again, you've got Travis Hunter, who's probably going to go to like the Browns at number 2. I mean, who knows what he goes, but top 5, top 3, whatever. So, you kind of look at through all of these guys. He's a reliable guy that's going to get you 600 plus yards. So like on an NFL team, you're looking at like a 3rd or 4th round receiver, kind of like a third down. Like if you need a third down, you kind of throw in a Will Sheppard in there.
Yeah.
And I think the two main reasons is just because he's not Travis Hunter and he's not like one of the bigger name guys. And he's also like 24, I think. And I think that's part of the reason why he's not being talked about. Both of these guys are up there in age. I say up there in age, but they're like 24 and like 6-year seniors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think, those are probably the 2 biggest reasons, because he's been a very reliable weapon every year for Colorado, getting 600 plus receiving yards, especially before Deion even showed up at Colorado.
He was at Vanderbilt before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and he's got that SEC. He's gone up against SEC corners and still put up good stats.
Yeah. Shout out to Dana and 2Evil, by the way. Yeah, he's not the only receiver that transferred in from a gold and black school that went to a gold and black school. If that gives you Illinois. Hint, hint. You guys hate Colorado. All right. Well, your next guy has actually been mentioned more often than what I thought, but I still would consider him a sleeper as well. But
I haven't heard anything, so interesting.
Yep. So
I can't tell who that is yet.
That's Frazier out of UTSA. Yeah. So I kind of went with Frazier just because I don't want to say he reminds me of like Devin Witherspoon just because they went to the same team, but like. That he got the same coaching and development that like
Devin Devon Witherspoon. You're talking about
at UTSA.
Yeah, Devin Witherspoon went to Illinois.
Was Illinois?
That's right. Yeah.
You're talking about. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the other dude on the Seahawks. Oh my God, why am I trying to blank on his name?
Super fast.
Oh my gosh! Help us out, Chet.
Tariq Woolen. There we go.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. So sorry, not Devin Witherspoon. Tariq Woolen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. They both went to the Seattle Seahawks. Maybe that's results. That's what threw me off.
Yeah. That was a Pete Carroll thing.
Yeah. For
Raiders.
Maybe. And exactly that. Very long. He's a long, lengthy corner. What? Anyways. And he's got the intangibles, he's got the athletics, whatever. And I think he had like 6 or 5 interceptions this season alone. And again, I think one of the bigger things is the fact that he's a 6th-year senior. I think 6th-year redshirt senior, to be technical and all that stuff. But you kind of look at it, and I've seen people say like kind of compare him to like an Isaiah Wilson. But was originally committed to Kentucky, 2022 became a road runner, kind of, and then just stuck through there. He's 24 actually, so 24, so he's up there, but he's kind of a developmental starter. I think you see him maybe as like the 4th or 5th receiver. I think he'll go like 4th, 5th, or not receiver, corner. You know, I think he'll go the 4th, 5th round. But I think it's kind of like once you start, it was kind of like with what my thing was with Teddy Buchanan. And I know I had him in my top 5 at linebacker. So probably start off at special teams, but he's going to be on that active roster and slowly kind of work his way up. Now, granted, at 24, I don't know how much of a year or two you have, but I think there's more on, like in Teddy's case. Teddy's still pretty young. There's more for him to like look at, and he's going to be able to show it. But 𝗕𝙬 Frazier kind of has more like, I would say the progress bar is, you know, filled up a bit more. So it's not going to take as long, which is good for him being 24. So again, I think if he gets drafted, he'll be like a 4th, like the 4th cornerback in the room, and then slowly play his way up again. So like, you know, if he went to a Philly, if he went to like Philly, I think he could beat out like 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀 Ringo, stuff along the lines of that, you know. So it's like you look at competitions against guys like that, like other young rookies that are still waiting in the wings, like 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝑀 Ringo. I think 𝗕𝙁 Frazier would be able to have more like experience overthrough it. And I'm not saying like he'd beat out 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝑀 Ringo if he went there. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this is a sleeper regardless of what people want to say, because there are people out there that say that he's going to go one of the earlier rounds, and I don't see that being possible, because I could tell you, just like Ball State, I don't know why I watched a bunch of UTSA games. This dude would absolutely get cooked on some routes too by smaller guys. But that doesn't change the fact that when he's on his game, he was really on his game. And that's, I mean, I would still go back to the Devon Witherspoon thing. I understand we were talking about Riq Woolen, but like Devon Witherspoon, he's just like a more unpolished Devon Witherspoon. Like he can be super physical, and so
he's got the physicalities for it. It's just he needs to, you know.
Yeah,
I think it depends on, which you can say about a lot of players. I think it does depend on the certain scheme that he goes to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Will Sheppard, 𝗕𝙬 Frazier are Sora's sleepers,